TheSmartLocal.com.
I'm proud of you.
Oh.
And I'm sure like your dad is proud of you too.
Oh. I made till the end already, don't make me cry. Welcome to the confession room. Could you share what you are struggling with? Hi, person on the other side. I wouldn't say this is a struggle, but rather something that I have been dealing with. My dad passed away close to 3 years ago. I guess the thing that I'm struggling with is dealing with the grief of his passing. Context is that it was very sudden due to a personal reason that I don't really wish to share online. Also because this is the first loss that I have ever experienced of someone close to me. So it's everything is so new and everything came as a shock. Definitely life has changed after that. The fact that I can even talk about it now without like tearing up is a huge improvement from last time. I come from a family that we are very typical Asian family. We don't really talk about our feelings. I don't really like to show people my vulnerable side. So I always do it secretly. Like maybe, I don't know, in the shower or like when I'm alone. I only ever talk about grief with my friends. My way of dealing with grief was to pile myself up with work, with things to do so that I wouldn't think. Actually, just nice at that period of time was the time where I applied to TSL. So everything fell in place nicely. But in hindsight, I don't know, maybe that's the reason why I occasionally have like breakdowns. But then again, I think breakdowns are very normal to people dealing with grief. I think because of this, some places I go makes me feel anxious. Some songs I avoid because I kept replaying it during like the funeral period. So it reminds me of that period. I think anyone who have dealt with grief can relate to a certain extent. Like I would say I'm a daddy's girl, so definitely this grief will go on for quite some time, and there will definitely be times where I will break down, or like especially I think during special occasions or like death anniversary or like his birthday, that kind of thing. The emotions that I feel is still strong, but not as strong as when it just happened. Not as fresh, but the wound is still there. It's still just slowly healing. When people ask me if there are any regrets, right? I don't think it's any regrets about anything that I haven't done with him, but more so of things that I wouldn't be able to do with him in the future. I think I'll always have the regret that he wasn't able to become a grandfather wasn't able to physically see any of us get married, wouldn't be able to be at my wedding, that kind of thing. I think I have a very great handful of friends who were there for me as my support system. I think it's crucial for everyone to be able to let out their feelings. Yeah.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for sharing your story. You may or may not know who I am, but I would like to say I think that all your emotions and experiences are valid lah. And I really appreciate you sharing your story because I think I share a similar story. So my mom passed away 3 years ago as well. I feel like we are the same age, like mid-20s lah. For people like us who lose a parent during this age, it's a bit difficult because I feel like not many people in their 20s lose a parent. Normally, maybe when we are married with a lot of children, then when our parents become grandparents, then eventually death will come, because it's an eventual thing. But then for us, during our mid-20s is the period where you kind of want to pay them back, or want them to finally see you move on with life lah. Then I feel like it's a bit sad that they won't get to see it. I don't think any advice I give you now would be very, very helpful. But what I can offer you is assurance that, or comfort that this is something that you're not going through alone. You're not the only person in the world going through this grief lah. I think I used to think that I was very alone. I never hear of someone around me who lose a parent, and then sometimes I feel like people may not understand what I feel. So even when I talk to my friends, I feel a bit better, but not totally better, because I know that what I say also they can't really understand to the fullest.
That's true.
Yeah. So my mom passed away from stage 4 cancer. So before she passed, I wouldn't say it was a sudden thing, but it was a 4-year-long journey. Or we were kind of fighting a losing battle lah. Even though there's maybe a 5% in me, I hope some miracle will come. When I walk past the hospital, or walk past a certain place we used to go, or go eat a certain restaurant that I used to frequent lah, then I'll feel a bit oh my god, yeah, this is the
Very
place.
tense, right?
Yeah, then I feel like I have to mentally prep myself.
Yep.
But then, what you say, I think the fact that we can talk about it now without bursting. Because I feel like last time I just say the word mom already, yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so I don't know if you had this experience, but during the funeral that time, the encouragement I hear the most is stay strong. Then I low-key found it a bit annoying.
Oh, I hate it.
Because it's
I'm sorry.
I cannot.
I'm sorry to all my friends if my replies were super cold, but I find it very redundant to be stay strong. That kind life will go on. All the typical
Yeah.
words that are not very useful. The thought is there, definitely, but if you're not the one going through it, right, I think whatever words won't really help. Yeah, I think that's what I learned. Anyone who's grieving, right, they should be given however long they need to grieve, because different people grieve differently for different periods of time.
No, I feel like a better word to say instead of stay strong would be let me know if you need help, or let me know if you need someone to talk to. I feel like a failure when I don't stay strong, that kind. So the more I feel like even more sad, you know, like, oh no, what the hell, I'm such a failure, I'm not staying strong. Because that is like the goal, like that everybody's telling me stay strong, that kind. And then like, you know, on the thing you said about like their birthday or the death day, like you kind of like know it's gonna happen. And like, so I think one thing that helps me is like I sort of like either mentally prep myself or like I plan something on that day to kind of like commemorate it, even if it's like very simple, like I just go visit the columbarium. It cheers me up a bit to know that I'm like remembering her on that day.
Actually, I wanna ask, like, do you ever feel like, I mean, I don't know if you know people who lose their parents at a younger age than us, so like not in our 20s. Then I don't know if you ever feel like maybe you don't have it as bad as them. Know what I mean?
I think sometimes I try to like invalidate my own grief by thinking like, you know, some people maybe they don't have parents, or maybe, you know, they do lose their parents at a younger age, so they didn't grow up with like a parent. Like at least I get to experience like you know, like love from a parent. Like I know what that feels like, and like not say my relationship was bad but I guess different people got different like circumstances lah. But then I think it made me realize like not just cause like maybe someone has it bad doesn't mean mine is like better or whatever. Like I think grief is still grief. I'm not comparing my grief with yours. Rather like I find comfort in like similar experiences. If like anyone needs help, they should like try to reach out also. I think we were quite blessed to have like friends to be our like support system. But I guess some people think that it should be dealt with personally. But then maybe if it's too much to bear, then I feel like, you know, maybe they can reach out to friends, or like I think even seeing like a therapist to help like process it, then that will help them lah.
Thank you so much for listening. I think, I don't know, as much as I don't want it to be a taboo topic, I think it is still a very heavy thing to talk about death. So thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing your story also. And thank you for giving advices too. I think it's great that we can relate in this way, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate to as well.
Likewise, thank you for being open about it lah. I feel like even though we are separated by this wall, I feel like today I connected with someone on a special level lah, that maybe only we know about. And I guess I would want to say that like I'm proud of you. And I'm sure like your dad is proud of you too. And
I made till the end already, don't make me cry.
And I know my mom is proud of me as well.
Yes.
And like I'm very thankful for this time together lah, that we get to share something.
Here.
So did you like go on to like Korea, or like?
Well, I worked there for a while.
Interesting.
I felt exactly how you're feeling right now when I had to make a decision whether or not to find a new path or continue what I was doing.